If you want a profitable and impactful business that allows you to create a massive legacy, you need to stop the DIY scrappy mentality, putting off making peace with money, being cheap with your marketing, and constantly selling something new. These 4 mistakes are costing you thousands of dollars, and they're stifling your impact. If you want a profitable and impactful business that allows you to create a massive legacy that reflects God's goodness, you don't need to do everything on your own and hope that something will finally work. I'm going to break down in this video the 4 big mistakes I see so many Christian female entrepreneurs making, and I'm going to give you 4 action steps that you can implement today so that you can make running your business easier, more profitable, and more impactful. Tap that like button if you like practical action steps that you can implement immediately. I bet you're a little like me. You started this business, maybe you had a $800 credit card, maybe you were funding it from another business like I was. You didn't have a lot of money when you started it, right? And I bet you're like me, where you've worn the hat to be the email marketer. You've worn the web designer hat. Don't forget the sales hat. You've been the tester, you've been the designer, you've been the one typing up the emails, writing the sales copy. Since it's just you and I, can we be real for a second? Wearing all of these hats is exhausting. I know my mind feels splintered in a million different directions. Your business can only go so far because you're the only one doing all the work. And I get it. You don't want to hire help until you're bringing X number of dollars. You're afraid you can't sustain the help if you bring it on, and money is a big part of it, right? But then there's also this part of you that you don't trust anybody else to do the things in your business as well as you do. I mean, your business is your baby, right? You've put so much time and late nights. You've been praying about it. You've been thinking about it constantly. And there's a little bit of a fear to hand that over to somebody. And then there's the time factor. You're so busy doing all these things and doing all these different tasks. You question, do you know how to train somebody? Do you want to know the real impact of you doing all these things and wearing all the hats? Burnout, exhaustion, time away from your family, time resenting your business, being so overwhelmed when the house is dark, everyone's asleep, you're crying on the floor of your living room because you're so stressed out. But you're also not going to be able to grow. You're not going to be able to grow beyond you and your own limits. You're not going to be able to impact the amount of people that you really know that you're called to impact. You're not going to be able to create that incredible financial transformation for your family, and you won't have as much money so that you can give and make a difference in the lives of other people. And I get it. You know, I have spent so many years in this scrappy mindset, do-it-yourself mindset, and I'm realizing if I had hired help and hired the right kind of help to take some work off of me so I could focus on marketing, so I could focus on what I was good at, what a difference that would have made. Now, I'm not talking about just hiring somebody to do something that you hate doing without having a strategic plan. I actually hired 3 people. I had a project manager, I had 2 VAs, they were creating social media graphics, they were doing website stuff, they were managing projects, and here's the thing. They did everything I asked them to do. Because I didn't have a solid sales strategy, I wasn't investing in marketing. I mean, I didn't know any better. I was doing the best I could. Because I didn't have them doing things that directly impacted marketing, sales, freeing me up so I could do those, I spent a lot of years funding my business with my first business. And I had to let these 3 women go because they were not helping me create income. And when COVID hit, I didn't have that solid sales plan. I didn't have a marketing plan in place. And so I had to let these women go. So I'm not talking about just hiring willy-nilly. I want you to be strategic with who you hire. But friend, you know as well as I do, you can't do it all on your own. It's not all getting done. And you feel so guilty and feel so much pressure because you're trying to do all these things in little chunks of time because there's so many things vying for your attention. So how do you get rid of this scrappy do-it-yourself mindset? I know I just told you not to be willy-nilly about hiring somebody to take something off of your plate. I want you to have a strategic plan, but I want to give you a couple hours of your time back so you can sit down and make that strategic plan. So if you're willing to accept the challenge, my action item is I want you to think of something that is a time-consuming task. And just between you and I, it's kind of driving you crazy, right? Because it's not your thing to do. You've been putting it off because you know it's going to take a long time. You don't want to do it. And it's a task that makes you want to poke your eyeballs with an ice pick. Let me give you a quick example of a task. I'm in the middle of transferring my website to a platform that will allow me to cut a whole bunch of expenses, saving money, and it will also allow me to better serve my clients and be more effective at that. Part of that transferring, the lady I'm working with who's helping me with this, she said, Carissa, your blog posts are not transferring correctly. Okay, what does that mean? And I started to do it, okay? I started to do it myself and it ended up being really simple. It's not that hard to do. It's not that hard to do, okay? So I can certainly do it. But because I am getting better at hiring out some of these little mundane tasks, copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste, right? This was not the best use of my time. I needed to come up with a strategy for the next batch of my YouTube videos. I needed to develop my Proverbs 31 Experts Seek 5 Pillars to a Profitable Business. It's a webinar that I'm going to be doing later this month. So I needed to have time to do that. So I went on Fiverr. I hired somebody. She's in there working on stuff now. She's gotten a lot done. And I've been able to do all this other stuff. Now, Fiverr is a resource where you can find people a lot of times in other countries who say that they can be a VA. They can do this. You know, I hired her as a VA to just copy and paste some stuff for me so I don't have to do it. But they could do social media designing, they could do all these things. And they start at $5 a gig. And the sellers can determine how much they charge. But if you want 10% off, I have a link down in the bottom. And I'll share it with several other resources that I'm going to be sharing today. I am hiring a social media marketing person. I'm in the process of onboarding a marketing specialist, a virtual assistant, full-time virtual assistant from the outsourced doers. And I specifically wanted them trained in email marketing, in social media management, in helping me with my website, but also helping me with some other key areas in lead generation and also in sales. And I had to take some time to be really strategic on who I wanted to hire that would really impact my bottom line. The second big mistake I see Christian female entrepreneurs making all the time, it's choking their business, keeping their business stuck, is not making peace with money a priority, not including biblical principles to help you shift your beliefs around money, around wealth, around business. Because no matter what marketing strategy you do, no matter how you are implementing these things, how you're running your business, if you don't deal with these mindsets that you have, they're going to keep showing up at every single level. And you think that you've gotten past them, but then your business starts to expand a little bit. You're bringing in more income, you're serving more clients, and the same doubts, the same fears come up unless you have scripture and use biblical principles to help you shift those beliefs and have that confidence, have that freedom. And this is what needs to happen so that you can scale your business, so that you can create that impactful and profitable business that will make a massive legacy and reflect God's goodness. So what do money blocks affect? Well, they affect your marketing, because if you doubt the value of what you're going to sell, if you think that you are bothering people when you're trying to sell to them and talk about your business, that no one wants to hear about it, that maybe you're afraid to tell other people that you're in business, how much your prices are. Money blocks affect your selling. You might be afraid to ask for the sale. You might think that you are being too pushy, that sales is slimy, that you are going to be judged for, by other people, what they think about your marketing, about your prices, about the fact that you're in business. But the saddest part is these money blocks affect the transformation that you can bring to your clients. I know you're serving clients already. You're making an impact on your clients' lives, but listen to me carefully. When you are dealing with all of these blocks around money, blocks around your business, blocks around selling, that's consuming you so much. Those fears and those doubts that you're not good enough, that no one will want to buy, that they're going to judge you, that they're going to be disappointed in you. All of that keeps you from truly showing up and loving your neighbor and serving them. And it limits the transformation that you're able to bring for your client. Carissa, wait a minute, I don't want any of that. I know no one does, right? But when was the last time you actually put some intention, some investment, some focus on shifting your money beliefs so that you could get past them, so that you could really bring greater transformation to your clients and to your family? Action step. I want you to stop. Next time one of these money blocks come up, one of these fears or these doubts come up, I want you to stop and I want you to ask God to show you where this money block is coming from, where this root is. And then I want you to find a Bible verse that will help you shift your money beliefs just 3% at a time. Scripture is the absolute best way I have found to really bring that incredible confidence, that powerful transformation, that breakthrough that you've been praying so desperately for. I've tried so many different things and nothing else has worked. And nothing else has worked as quickly as applying scripture and biblical principles to your beliefs around money. Moving right along, the third big mistake I see so many women making in their businesses is they are not willing to invest in long-term marketing for business growth. There is an expense to marketing. You can either do time and your own resources. We already talked about the scrappy do-it-yourself mentality. We have free resources. There's never been a time where you can have so many free resources to talk about your business. Facebook and Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Twitter. I could go on and on and on. There are so many places. Speaking, I do a lot of speaking. That's one of my primary marketing things. There are so many ways that you can do marketing for free. And the expense is your time. But again, your time, right? Are you putting the time into marketing if you're gonna do it all yourself? Are you good at it? I mentioned just a little bit ago, I'm hiring somebody who is a social media marketing specialist to help me with my business. And I know that this is an area I've struggled in this whole time I've been online. So I need somebody who can help me do that marketing. And I've also learned that, so hiring somebody to help you, that's an investment. That's an investment in time to train them. It's an investment to provide them with what they need, but it's also an investment in paying them. A lot of women don't want to pay for marketing. They don't want to do the Facebook advertising, the pay to speak. But then the fear comes up. Oh, Carissa, I'm going to lose my money. I don't want to put that much money down. That's a lot of money. What if it doesn't happen? I get it. I've had clients tell me that they don't want to bother people. You know, they care more about keeping the relationships. They don't want to talk about their business. They think it's rude to keep asking for money and that their family is going to be judging them for being in business, right? And friend, if that's you, you have a wrong view of marketing, because marketing is recognizing that somebody has a problem that you can solve. They're praying desperately for a solution. And marketing is saying, hey friend, I see you're struggling. I've been there too. But you know, you don't have to stay there. I have a solution that will help you. It will help you get that breakthrough. It will help you make that become a better person. It will help you solve this problem. Would you like to know more about it? And in this video, I told you how that big expo in Los Angeles, it didn't have the return yet that I wanted, and how it was really disappointing for me. But that's not going to stop me from investing in speaking. Both the time to find podcasts and other opportunities to speak, but also paying to speak in front of other people's audiences. If you want to have this impact on so many people. You have to be in front of people to tell them about your services. You cannot just hope that they'll come find you. They won't. It's crowded. It's busy out there on the online space. There's so many things vying for our attention. We have to go out. We have to do what Jesus did with his marketing. He went out to where those who needed his services were. He had a message for one person, and he talked directly to them. And then he moved on to the next. We can do that, but it requires a commitment to understanding what marketing really is. It's an investment, and if you want to make an impact on a lot of people, this is something you need to commit to. When you approach marketing from that angle, it's exciting to serve somebody, and it's exciting to help somebody. And that's, as Christian women, what we are wired to do so naturally. And it's actually presenting a way that they can get their problem solved. Action step. I want you to choose a percentage of the revenue that comes in to your business. You can start with 5%, 10%, 20% is a good number. I've heard as much as you pay in taxes, you should put into marketing. I know it's a big adjustment right now. So start with 5%, 10%, and say, out of every $100 that comes into my business, I'm going to take $10 of it and I'm going to put it towards investing in marketing, because I need to get in front of more people. I need to tell more people about the problems I solve so I can help more people and I can serve more people and I can have a bigger impact. So I want you to commit, and tell me if you are committing down below. Tell me how much money out of all the revenue that comes into your business, what percentage are you going to start committing, putting towards marketing? This mistake, my friend Tiffany, she's a sales strategist, and we talk all the time, and it's frustrating for us. And I can't say that I'm 100% there yet, but I'm growing, and I have a plan in mind, and I'm now implementing it. But what we are so heartbroken over is that so many women don't have a solid long-term sales strategy. I've been guilty of this too. You put an offer out there and not many people buy. Maybe it's like me and you haven't invested enough time or money into marketing because you were so busy trying to do it all on yourself and put everything together that you didn't have time to market it enough so that people actually knew about it. So women are constantly putting something out there, it doesn't work, it doesn't get the results they want, so they create something new, they put something else out there, they're not getting the desired results that they want. So they think that they're a failure, they think that maybe they're not good enough, maybe they need to try something different, maybe it was in reality, they just need to continue to practice and perfect that offer, to get in front of more people and tell more people about that offer. This is creating mastery in your business, which is something I've learned recently from Myron Golden, who is fabulous on biblical sales. He is such a genius, and I love his biblical approach. That's what I'm all about anyways. But we have to have mastery in our marketing and in our selling. And for me personally, that's one thing I'm committed to, is increasing my mastery in marketing and in selling this year. But these women, they're so busy trying to put out all these little offers, all these different offers. They're not creating a sustainable asset that will generate both immediate cash and ongoing revenue. You need to have both, right? You need to have the cash that comes in for today, but you also need, and it talks about in 2 Corinthians 9, how God richly provides seed for sowing. Seed is a monetary term, and that's also talking about how we need money. He provides bread. He richly provides bread in abundance. He provides abundant seed. So bread is the money that we need to take care of our family today. The seed is the money that we need to invest in marketing so that we can have a harvest and bring in more money another time, in 60 days, in 90 days, next year. And so we need to have this continual cycle. And this is very, very biblical. I'll have to do another video on this whole topic of sowing and reaping. We have to continue to sow the marketing, that's sowing. We have to continue to sell and be in front of more people, sharing about our offer, and so that we can continue to harvest, so that we can have seeds that we're planting. We can be nourishing and helping these relationships, these plants grow. We can get them to the harvest point where we can harvest and we can actually serve somebody. And then with the revenue that comes in from that, Now we have opportunity to start the whole cycle again, to invest in other businesses, to be generous with other people. But part of the reason that these women don't have a solid sales strategy, because they're not comfortable with selling, because they have blocks around selling. These are the biblical money blocks that I was talking about around business, around selling, that sales is slimy and you're being greedy when you take money that other people need. They need it more than you do. All of these blocks around selling, the fear of failure, the fear of success. What if I make too much money and then what am I do? People are going to judge me. All of these things, as you can see, they're affecting your business. That's why I think the first thing you need to start with is having that priority to shift your money beliefs using scripture. Because once you do that, everything else falls into place. Action step. I want you to email your list and promote on social just one service or one product that you sell for the next month. Come up with creative ways on how to talk about it, why this makes such a difference in their life. What is the result going to be? What is the transformation going to be? What problems are they struggling with that they would even need your thing? Comment, I'm in. If you are going to do these 4 simple action steps and you're going to start them this week, comment, I'm in down below. Now that you know 4 of the biggest mistakes to avoid, you want an impactful and profitable business that creates a massive legacy and reflects God's generosity, I want to ask you one question. Don't you want to become a successful, impactful, profitable businesswoman? Someone who honors God and benefits your entire community for generations to come without all of the doubts and the fears that have been hanging around for decades? I learned 5 essential business strategies from the Proverbs 31 woman that will teach you exactly how to become this type of godly, impactful, and prosperous business owner. If you want to continue to get tips on how to incorporate biblical principles into your business and into your beliefs around money, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, tap that bell to be notified, because every week here on Multiply Your Legacy with Carissa Quaddy, I will drop another video and help you with implementing this one step at a time.